you're hidden, you just stay hid. There's a rifle trained on me. There's two of them, they're both armed. Connor, you're doing great. You just stay there, okay? Don't move. Don't talk. You got a weapon in here, H?
I have a pretty sharp axe.
Afraid this not gonna do it. I don't know how to get us out of this.
Fire's gonna be here in about an hour. That should get us out of this.
We don't have an hour.
Welcome to the Night Before Movie Podcast, where my husband and I watch a movie and talk about the movie we watched the night before.
Over drinks
Over
or
drinks,
food.
somewhere local, food.
Well, we eat food prior to recording.
We eat food prior because we don't want to be talking while eating. And we typically go somewhere local, like a restaurant, coffee shop, brewery. Currently, we have chosen, because it's such a beautiful day out today, Bodega in Seminole Heights, Tampa.
Seminole Heights, Tampa, Florida. Bodega. It's not necessarily a bodega. Sorry.
It's a nice bodega.
Yeah, but no.
Well, no.
Their
A bodega is like a grocery store.
Yeah,
basically.
kind of grocery store thing.
It's not a grocery
No.
store. It's a restaurant where they sell. I should look this up. Spanish food.
Wait, their Instagram says dishes inspired by the islands of Latin America.
Right. And in Tampa, obviously, we're famous for our Cuban food. But I think it's a mix between, it's not just Cuban food, it's Cuban, Latin American.
Though I did eat a Cuban sandwich right prior to recording this for lunch.
It was awesome. I have to say, growing up in Tampa, I've had a lot of Cuban sandwiches. Mm-hmm. A lot. This one, I just had a couple bites of yours, but it was exquisite.
It was really good. I mean, I don't really play that game of like who has the best Cuban sandwich. I know a lot of people, because it seems like a holy grail you'll never find.
It's not true. I mean, people make way different versions of the Cuban sandwich.
Yeah, but it was really good. Okay. But at the same time, I've rarely met a Cuban sandwich I didn't like.
Did it have mustard?
It did. Not too much. Subtle.
That's perfect. That's a perfect Cuban sandwich then.
We had that. We had a drink. Right now, we found that they had a secret cocktails menu that's not advertised.
It's not.
We asked for it, and they're like, well, since you're the Night Before Movie podcast crew, we'll rustle some stuff up from the back.
They said that, but I inquired.
That's the story I'm going with. But no, right attached to Bodega is a cocktail bar called Mandarin Heights. They're not quite open yet because this is early afternoon. They have this neat patio that used to be like a shuffleboard court, but I guess in the age of COVID, they've expanded their outdoor seating, and seating has overtaken the shuffleboard.
But it's all outdoors. They play Latin music. They used to, when they first opened up, this is in our neighborhood, they used to do like salsa.
Oh, like salsa dancing nights.
Saturdays?
Yeah.
Salsa Saturdays.
They might still once COVID
fun.
comes down.
They might bring it back. That's fun. So we thought this would be
You approve. That's fine.
What?
No, I said you approve. That's fine.
I approve what?
That salsa night can come back.
I think it was salsa day.
Salsa day, yeah. I remember once we were here, like ordering a sandwich to go, and all of a sudden, like people just
started breaking out in salsa.
Well, just started emerging. A crowd was forming, and
I loved it.
Salsa
it made
dancing
me want to get
just
up and
happened.
Start dancing salsa.
And I was like, let's get our sandwiches and go.
He immediately got scared. I was going to force him to dance salsa with me.
I was like, this is not our scene. Let's go.
Not your scene. But Anyway.
But no, this is good. So there might be some music in the background. It's not too crowded. We put a couple pictures as we try to do on our Night Before movie podcast Instagram. I think it's just Night Before podcast. Find us, follow us, and you can see those things. But we're here because we don't share our thoughts on the movie we watched the night before. And this is a Saturday, so as in typical couple fashion, you watch a movie on Friday night, especially in the age of COVID when you can't go out as much. But it's winding down. So we watched the movie Those Who Wish Me Dead. Brand new release. It was like the Friday night movie.
For everyone.
It was one of the only...
I mean, for a lot of people.
Because there wasn't that many new movies. And this one debuted at home. You could watch it on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Angelina Jolie.
That's always a plus for us. I mean, not Angelina Jolie, but watching it.
You don't have to go to the theater.
Yeah. Paying extra for it.
Because the only other kind of new movie, big new movie I'm aware of was the Chris Rock movie Spiral. But that's only in theaters. And I think the zombie movie Army of the Dead.
So you joked about watching the Chris Rock movie.
Yeah, I was like, hey, do you want to go see the new Chris Rock movie? That's
Not
all I kept saying.
I'm sure it's good.
Well, I don't know.
But I watch them with you, but I'm not excited about
Saw
movies and horror, like.
I mean, I don't think I'm particularly excited about Saw either. I was just having fun saying, hey, let's go see the new Chris Rock movie.
Because it's weird that Chris Rock is in a Saw movie.
It's in a Saw movie.
But it's had great reviews, right?
I can't say if it has or not.
I mean, I've heard good things about it.
Okay.
I personally, which I don't dig deep, but I've heard a couple good things about.
Well, there might be a time we see Spiral from the Book of Saw, and if so, there'll be an episode on the Night Before podcast.
If your other podcast doesn't take it
Yeah.
first.
You never know. But no, so we saw Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about it. We saw it, went to bed, got up, did our thing, and now we're getting around getting some lunch. And we said, let's talk about it. So do you want to...
Do I want to start?
Yeah, this is it's like kind of a different tone, I think, for us than some of our other movies.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like an action thriller.
I was looking forward to seeing it. I mean,
Me
I wasn't
too.
like, oh my gosh, I got to see this movie, but
Well, you go, it's Angelina Jolie, it's a brand new movie.
So let's start there.
It's high con. It's like
I don't know how I feel about Angelina Jolie, really, because I haven't seen her in anything lately.
Well, we don't watch her. She seems to do two types of films: either a more serious drama that probably has some sort of political or social commentary, or she does action movies. Like I'm thinking that I never see. Like I'm thinking of the movie Salt. Did you ever see the movie Salt?
Yes, yeah.
You saw it?
I don't know if I saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
Doesn't mean she does those types. She does either or. I've never seen her more, apart from maybe the Tomb Raider movie she did. I haven't seen her action side very much. Oh, no, I mean, but maybe I have. I've seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, yeah. So I was
But
interested.
of late.
Okay, so maybe that was, well, I won't even say that yet. Mr. and Mrs. Smith might have been her.
Well, all I'll
last
say
best
is we've
movie.
made an agreement just now. We're not going to talk about Brad Pitt.
No.
So if you come in here looking for the Brad Pitt dirt,
Nope. We're not going to judge.
we're not touching. We don't care. We don't care about the
We don't care about the divorce.
Bradlina. It's old news.
We don't care about the divorce and the troubles he's going through, and I mean, we care, but we don't care.
Or how
enough
or how mean she is. We don't care about any of that.
She is.
We're not going to say any of that.
Nobody knows either side of the story. But so we're going to move on. This is not celebrity gossip, but
Can you believe she did a movie? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was anxious to see her in a movie because I haven't seen her in anything. And I don't know if this is where you were going with this a minute ago, but I think unfortunately I came out of it with my same fear about watching her in a movie. Do you think, here's the question.
Okay.
Do you think a celebrity can become so in the news, in social media, this and that, and percepted, is that a word? I don't know. Perceived in a specific way by the general public to that it's hard once they're in roles again, it's hard to separate that perception from them trying to do a role. Because I have a hard time with that with Tom Cruise.
Well, that's the Tom Cruise effect. I think
That's
everybody
the Tom
does.
Cruise effect. I think Angelina Jolie has the same effect for me.
No, I agree. I think some actors do it better than others, yes. But I think their celebrity status clings on to them more. And I think due to the fact that Angelina Jolie, from what I'm kind of just judging off memory, we don't see her doing a lot of films.
No.
It's not like Brad Pitt, who we see him. We said we weren't going to talk about Brad Pitt.
But he doesn't have that effect on me.
But he also pops up in more movies. She doesn't seem to pop up as much,
No.
or even recently. So that is one of the problems with this movie. But I would say it's a minor problem amongst many other problems this movie has. This movie has the car wreck curiosity factor. Not that the movie is a car wreck, I'm saying. But it's something you want to look at.
Car wreck or train wreck is what that idiom is.
Well, I'm making up a new one.
Oh, because of the movie. Gotcha. I gotcha.
Well, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Oh, there's a car wreck in the movie.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
I'm saying when there's a car wreck, you can't help but look. Why does traffic slow down?
Right.
Because everybody has to take a peek.
Or also the fact that she doesn't do a lot of movies. You're like, oh, Angelina Jolie's in a movie.
That's what I'm saying. Those
Let
who
me
wish
see
me
how
dead.
this works out for her.
I was not interested in this movie at all. But because Angelina Jolie was the star, I'm like, I want to see this movie. I was like you, maybe. I don't know for the same reasons, but I was interested in seeing this movie simply because Angelina Jolie is the star. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by the car wreck curiosity factor. Like, I got to look to see what's going on with her. Because I don't see her. She's not popping up in movies constantly. And like you said, part of what you're watching is you're distracted by the other stuff in her life or just who she is.
I'm not distracted about what's going on in her life. I'm distracted by her uber celebrity status and her untouchable kind of feel of her celebrity status. You know what I mean? Kind of like Tom Cruise. And it's almost like even when she was acting, especially in the beginning when she's like,
Cool
we
girl.
were commenting like, cool girl, oh, they're just having fun, they're getting drunk, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm imagining them actually filming this movie and these men around her who aren't necessarily like named are they like actors you would recognize?
There are actors you recognize in this movie.
No,
A
in the
handful.
truck, like when they're drinking and.
Oh, not really.
Those, but
Not
not in
really.
the movie, but in that scene.
No, they all seem like cable TV actor stars.
Yeah. And I'm thinking how difficult it probably is for them to really have this like laid back feel with her.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I hate to pick on anybody about their weight, but she's gorgeous. I mean, she's super skinny, but she's abnormally, strikingly, her face is beautiful. So she's not this just like typical girl hang out with the guys like persona that they were trying to make in that scene. I was like, this is so unrealistic. Like,
She doesn't seem like she's had a harsh life in the elements.
at all, ever.
Yeah.
She's been pampered and she's,
Though her character in this movie
portrays her as having some kind of harsh
has
life.
moments has had one very traumatic experience. So if we back up a bit, this movie, and that's what my first question is, like, what is this movie about? But her character is a smoke jumper, which we learned are people who are the first responders to like big forest fires.
They parachute
To
sometimes
parachute in to
forest
rescue people.
fires, to
Rescue people or help the situation. And she has one traumatic experience that at the very beginning
And she's scarred by it.
of 3 kids or 3 people who died. At least one or more were children who died in a forest fire that she couldn't get to and
But
rescue
she
quick
kind of
enough.
had to she watched and she blames it based on her lack of like courage to sacrifice herself to go save them.
Yeah, that's her role. And this is my first. And so the movie basically is about the movie is about two assassins who are going around killing one or two people to cover
One or
up.
two people. They kill everyone that might. They kill more than one or two.
No, they kill
people.
more. No, but their goal is one or two people.
Right.
They kill anybody who gets in the way. But their goal, they're trying to cover up some conspiracy thing.
That's really rather undefined.
Yeah, hugely
I mean,
undefined.
the plot is like.
It has
what?
it has larger implications amongst the government, the U.S. government, amongst. I mean, I don't know. That's where some of my questions fall. But anyway, part of it, what happens is, where does Angelina Jolie come in? This kid's father is one of the two people the assassins are after, because he knows the embezzling. He's a forensic
Whatever the
accountant.
crime is.
He's a forensic accountant.
Yeah.
He uncovered some secrets,
Nefarious.
some nefarious things they're doing.
Things that they're doing.
These assassins are after the father, and then eventually after the son, because the son kind of has the secrets.
The son is like 12.
Yeah, he's a little kid, 12 years old. He runs in, and through his escape, he runs into Angelina Jolie in the woods in Montana, because that's where he gets separated from his father.
She's
And
up
she
in this
kinda-
tower.
Yeah, she's in a fire tower. Her role is to watch for fires and whatnot, to report them so they can get a jump on any big blazes. And so she runs into the boy and has the chance of maybe redemption to overcome
She's
the
taking
last
it
group.
as a chance of redemption.
Yeah, that she couldn't save, so now she'll try to save him. And so now she eventually becomes a target of the assassins. That's the movie, to my understanding. And so it's this quest for like surviving. Right?
Right,
I mean, I
yes.
stumbled through it, and I think that brings the first problem with it. It's a little hard to understand. It seemed like this was one movie, and they had to add some other elements to it. A whole
So I
nother
did briefly
second
read that
movie.
it was based on a book, but then when the person who wrote the screenplay based on the book finished, it actually became its own thing, because it wasn't even close enough to the actual book, maybe. That's kind of a brief read I did.
So I think it's safe to say, one, we went into this movie completely blind. Just the Angelina Jolie star power was all that took us to get there.
And my positivity was that I was just going to be sucked into this. I was slightly about it, but I wanted to see it, and I was like, but this is going to suck me in, and it's going to be good. It didn't.
No, I thought it would be this sort of, I don't want to bash, and I've been thinking about this all night and all day. I don't want to just come in and bash this movie.
No.
I did not like it, but I was hoping, and I don't want to say I don't like it because it's like a Hollywood film with a big star, and because that's even what we wanted to watch another movie, as we often kind of get in these debates.
Oh, we should have watched that movie.
I don't
That's
know.
like my tone in this podcast. The movie we should have watched was the one I said
we
we
were
should
thinking about
have
a film
watched.
called The Killing of Two Lovers, but
I
this
had
one-
that on my radar, like for the last 5 days.
But this one, we were kind of
And
tired
again.
going into it.
My lovely husband
Yeah.
talks me into this one.
No, we talked about it. We were saying we're a little tired today. It might just be good to watch.
Something terrible. No, I'm just
the
kidding.
TV,
I'm just
the
kidding.
movie that'll just kind of be star power and all. So that's my first thing about this. I think without Angelina Jolie attached to this movie, it's almost just a generic,
Confusing.
just a generic B movie.
With not a really good plot.
Well, I was going to say, a generic B movie you would see on cable one day.
Yes,
You're flipping through the
absolutely.
channels, and you're on TNT or TBS.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And you're watching
It's a great
it,
analogy.
and you're like, there's some familiar faces. I don't know any of these people's names, but there's some familiar
But
faces.
it's an okay B movie.
It's engaging enough. It keeps you going, and you would just watch it. there's one person out of place in this movie constantly, and I feel it's Angelina Jolie.
I agree.
Because of her star caliber, I think she's... It just seemed like a weird choice for her to sign on, and maybe the movie didn't go the direction it needed to go. But
Maybe movies aren't her thing anymore. I mean, she does a lot of other wonderful things, like she's an ambassador of countries, and she does a lot of service and all that. I'm almost feeling like she's not the...
I think she could still do even thrill, like
she's
action.
The right script.
Action thrills, and that's what I felt. I felt there were two separate movies playing. There was the Angelina Jolie smoke jumper, fire tower watcher, saving a young boy movie, and that seemed to be what works. I think that's the thing that works the most for this movie. Just let her care for this young boy and try to get him to safety. Like, I thought all those scenes were fine. And then there's this whole other movie of two assassins going around trying to cover up their crimes, and then eventually, they land on the boy in the pass cross. And that's why I felt the part of the movie, every time it cut to the assassins, and until the two merged, which was after the halfway point, right? When they when the assassins eventually start hunting Angelina Jolie and the boy.
The boy, yeah.
Which I think is like not until an hour into the movie.
Yes.
Before then, they're doing other hunting. They're hunting these other people. They're just covering their tracks. So that's what I mean. It felt like two different movies that had to merge eventually. And it was... The Angelina Jolie movie was a lot better than the other movie, the Assassin movie.
But here's my problem with Angelina Jolie, too.
No.
I know, this is going to be an Angelina Jolie bash, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to hide my feelings. So, she doesn't show a ton of emotion throughout the movie at all.
Well, she always seems a little cold and detached.
She always seems cold and detached. And you don't, connect with her. Because she still, even though she's supposed to be this, kind of rough and tumble, live this hard life person, you can't see that is ever the case. And she does this, strenuous kind of, job. And let's be honest, other actresses, I can think of Charlize Theron and, Dune or whatever.
Mad Max.
And then,
No, but Charlize Theron, she...
And Jennifer... No, wait. So let's see. Jennifer Gardner, even in some of her roles...
When she did more action stuff,
they, work out and bulk up and get, ready for the role. It's believable. They're thin and beautiful, but they are, okay. They are, believable and strong, and she is, a stick. And she's climbing up ropes and doing all these things, and it's unbelievable to me that someone so pristine... I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it's unbelievable to me.
You always just see Angelina Jolie in this movie. That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
That is true.
Excuse me.
I mean, it just doesn't... They don't even kind of harden her up at all with makeup or anything, really?
No. And I think her main thing is she's meant to be just this, character-wise, this her backstory, which again, I'll say you don't really care or empathize with any characters in this movie. No. Even the young boy.
He's not that good in it.
He's not great, no. He either comes off as too needy and whiny for a 12-year-old or too emotionally aware for a 12-year-old. So many times, if an adult, it felt just like lazy writing and directing. If an adult says... or doesn't say anything, they look weird or they look away, or he's constantly hey, what is bothering you? What is wrong? What are you doing? And his sort of emotional awareness as a 12-year-old, as someone who has been around 12-year-olds my entire adult life in my career, they are not that perceptive and emotionally aware. And it just felt as a way to try to push the emotional the emotional appeal, the emotional narrative.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every time he would say or do something, like check in with his dad. Hey, Dad, what are you feeling? Hey, Dad, what is going on? Dad, you seem distant. I'm like,
Or even when the scary part was happening, the dad was like, you just got to do this. He's like, okay, I understand. I'm
got
like, no. A 12-year-old would be flipping out, you know?
or
like,
shutting down
or shutting
or
down.
something.
Or the real emotion of a 12-year-old was not there.
And I don't want to say like a young kid did a bad job. He didn't do a bad job acting.
No,
I just think the way his character was
his lines
written,
and stuff, how it was written was not
not
done
authentic to the age. But here's my thing. I had a number of questions in this movie.
Okay.
I will admit it. I appreciate a slow burn in a movie as well. And I appreciate, as we've seen in previous episodes, I appreciate movies that are kind of slow. I appreciate movies that don't tell you everything, that make you put the pieces together yourself. But this one was a slow burn at times. No pun intended, given that there's an encroaching, very symbolic, this encroaching forest fire towards them as well, right? Do you embrace the fire or do you embrace the assassins? How do you overcome it all? Oh, you got to embrace the fire. Angelina Jolie has to embrace.
To catch this 12-year-old boy. This whole forest fire is set for that reason.
Yeah.
Seems like there would be an easier way.
You would think so.
To find a 12-year-old boy.
All right. So my first question is, this film is titled Those Who Wish Me Dead, right?
And it's supposed to be from the 12-year-old boy's perspective.
So that's my question. Angelina Jolie is the star. She's on the cover, the poster. I think there's a little image of him. So those who wish me dead
are two assassins.
Are the two. Those are the assassin. Who's the me?
I think it's supposed to be the boy.
So this movie is supposed to be told from the boy's perspective.
But it's not. Really.
That's what I mean. That's my first question is, who is this title referring to? Those who wish me dead. Because you're led to believe before watching it that it's Angelina Jolie. Mm-hmm. And they don't really wish Angelina Jolie dead at all.
They don't even know who she is.
They don't even really know she exists at all until, heck, the very end when she confronts one of the assassins. One of the assassins never even sees her.
Yeah.
But you have all these other characters. My favorite character in the movie, honestly, I'm going to tell you, was the pregnant wife of the sheriff.
Me too. I really liked her. Yeah.
She was the best performance, the best character, and the best sort of arc as a character.
Sure. Definitely.
She's the highlight of this film.
She's the highlight. She gets on that horse.
Which is funny. There's a scene early in the movie when the boy, like the father and the son are like escaping the assassins and they're on the run to Montana. And they stop to go to the bathroom. And the boy like leaves the car for a minute and goes up and pets a horse. And it's this weird out of place scene where this music comes in real quick. And the son has this moment with the horse. And so I'm thinking watching it, later on this horse is going to play a role in the movie with the boy. Or not this horse, but
a horse.
Some sort of connection to a horse or nature or whatever. It doesn't happen.
No.
Spoiler alert. Except at one point, the sheriff's wife, who's pregnant, because the sheriff in this town, Montana, gets all caught up by, like I said, it's two movies. It's the assassin movie and the Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah.
The wife is part of the assassin movie.
Yeah.
She is coming to rescue her husband, the sheriff, from these assassins.
And she's pregnant, like
and
real
she's pregnant. And they do this funny, not meant to be funny, but I thought it was kind of humorous scene where she's going to go to her husband. She knows where he's at. She has this little GPS tracker, I guess. And she goes in their barn, their shed, because they're in Montana. And she looks at the four-wheeler. The camera like turns to her perspective. So it shoots on the four-wheeler, right?
And then a two-wheeler of some
Well, and then a
motorcycle,
a dirt bike. And then it cuts to a dirt bike. And then it cuts to the horse. And you're like, because of the horse scene with the boy earlier.
You know she's picking the horse.
And I think I even said that. I said, she's picking the horse. And then it cuts to her riding the horse to her husband's rescue.
Because a horse is most effective in terrain like that, honestly.
I mean,
It
I
is.
guess.
I mean, you can jump over things and whatnot, But anyway, but then you're thinking this enormously pregnant woman on the horse. But this is,
Yeah,
I
like-
mean, and it's almost over the top, a very like pro strong woman movie, like with her and Angelina Jolie doing all these like, I mean, in a good way, but also kind of over the top. Like, okay, you're what, like 7-8 months pregnant. You don't need to be jumping on top of a horse. It's probably not the best idea, but none of what she was doing was a choice, I guess. She was doing it to save her husband's life, so.
Yeah, I just thought it was a little interesting in a movie that focuses on like Angelina Jolie as the heroine, the quote, like you would think the strongest character in the movie.
She's not really, though.
It's this other character, the small
Definitely-
minor character.
Definitely pulls out as the
I
strongest.
mean, she's tortured by the assassins. Not names of the thing.
She is the one character that really shows the emotion. If you could connect with any character, you could connect with her or me as a woman being pregnant and being fearful for your life and your baby's life and your husband's life in general. I think she is the character that really acts the best.
Yeah, her character's. I just
the
saw it on the
most
thing. Her
believable role in the movie.
her
for
character's
sure.
name is Allison Sawyer. Allison Sawyer.
Yeah, she's definitely the best
The
character in the
sheriff's
movie.
name is Ethan Sawyer. So anyway, so that was my first question. Those who wish me dead. I guess it's about the boy, but in reality, it's not the boy because I guess eventually it is. But the first half of the movie, they're not even hunting the boy. They're hunting
The sheriff.
not what the assassins change from. First,
They
the movie
switch.
opens with they kill.
Well, the dad.
Well, not
They're
even the
hunting
dad
the
yet.
dad.
They kill like a congressman or a senator,
In his home.
In his
Well,
home.
the whole family. Yeah.
and then the father character realizes he's next because he's the one who uncovered the accounting secret. He's the forensic accountant.
Yeah.
So now the assassins are hunting him. And then they go after this sheriff, Ethan Sawyer, because they think he has the boy.
Oh, right. That he's hiding the boy because Ethan Sawyer is somehow knows or is related to the boy's dad.
Yes, and that's where the boy's dad
They
is
have a
headed towards.
connection.
That they're going to hide
So
out.
they look at pictures in the boy's dad's house to see where he would run to.
Yeah.
And they see the picture of the cop,
The sheriff, Ethan Sawyer.
and his wife.
And they're just like, oh, I guess he's going here. They're in Florida, so they just say, oh, he's probably going to Montana.
Because that's close.
These are like top-notch assassins who it almost becomes a little bit of Home Alone in the woods, right? Not where
And they
there's not
happen
where
to be
there's
right. Like,
not where there's these booby traps, right? But it's two criminals chasing after a 12-year-old boy. But
Right.
instead of a house, it's in the woods. And the boy never does booby
it is a
traps.
Home
on it.
Alone thing
But it
because I
is-
think
it
they're
is.
supposed to be brothers, but they look nothing alike.
That's right, they are. Because occasionally the one guy keeps saying brother and not meaning like you're my brother, but
No,
more
they're
like you're
supposed
my
to be
brother.
brothers,
They're like
the
siblings.
Home Alone
They're
brothers.
siblings, yeah.
What are the Home Alone brothers
The Wet
called?
Bandits.
Yeah.
That's what they're called, the Wet Bandits.
Yeah.
So that part I thought was that was my first question. My second question. So Tyler Perry. Props to Tyler Perry and all he does for the world.
Oh, of course. Yeah. He
Tyler
does.
Perry is a producer of this film, I looked up. Tyler Perry also has a small role
A one scene role.
a cameo then.
Right.
Why is Tyler Perry / Tyler Perry's character in this movie?
No idea. There's no purpose. But
If-
it
if
is
we
like,
thought
oh,
it-
that's Tyler Perry.
Yeah, if we thought Angelina Jolie was distracting, Tyler Perry is beyond distracting inside this
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But who is Tyler? What is Tyler Perry's purpose in this film?
He's a cop, and he looks over the railing,
He is a cop. He's a police officer. Not a
and they
police
come
officer.
across the accident, right?
I'm looking up his character's name. Officer Phillip.
They look over the accident, right?
But isn't his... But he's like a higher... Is he like a U.S. Marshal?
I don't know.
Or...
He has like 2 lines in the movie.
But he's not a police officer there in Montana. Or is he like a state trooper? He was wearing a suit. He wasn't wearing a officer's...
like a blue button-down shirt.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
But obviously, I say all this, he is the boss of these assassins. Right? Because they go report to him, and there's the scene he's in.
And they're like, oh no, when he...
And he's like, get the 12-year-old boy. You have like 6 hours before this thing gets out of hand. Because again, 2 different movies. The Angelina Jolie movie, Hanging Out in the
And
Woods.
that was it. That's all you saw, Tyler Perry.
I know when the movie was winding down, I was like, oh, here we go. Let us see the Tyler Perry's coming back. Because it's my understanding he is the bigger bad guy, the bigger boss.
Yeah.
Because I'm not 100% sure, unless you are. I'm not sure who these assassins work for, what they're trying to cover up, what was exposed by them, what are they doing. Either I dozed off and missed those parts, or it's never told to us.
It's never told.
But
I did doze off a couple times, but it's never told.
But all I can gather is Tyler Perry is at least next up on the hierarchy of criminal kingpins.
Yeah. Definitely.
But
He's like the mob boss of the whatever the ring they have.
Yeah, and he
going.
could be posing as an officer, or he's an officer for a
He
front.
looks like he's a police officer, but
Yeah, because on the web thing, he's just... I'm looking at his role. He's just... It just says Officer Phillip. I don't know. But I don't know what else there is to say about the film.
well,
I mean, it's
when
clear
it ends, you don't feel like, oh, like what's the resolve at the end, really? I mean,
well, the resolve, I mean,
the boy is safe.
It's one of those things. Everybody, and I don't say everybody lives happily ever after, but yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, you know that. I mean,
Does
even if you
Angelina-
haven't watched it, you know this boy is not.
Does
gonna die.
Angelina Jolie? She gets her moment of redemption. She saves the boy because the boy she couldn't save last time. The assassins get their due, and the boy, it's implied the boy is going to go talk to the media, which is what his father always wanted him to do. But we don't even know what the father's secrets are the entire time,
Yeah.
because he writes
So
them
what
on a
does
sheet
they
of...
ask him what he wants in the beginning, and he wants to talk to the news.
Well, his dad writes all these secrets on a sheet of paper for him.
Oh, okay.
We never know what the secrets are.
Nor do you in the end.
And the boy keeps them, and he just wants to tell the news the secrets. So that's, like I said, that's my other big question is, like, what are these secrets? We don't know.
It'd be nice to know that at the end. It'd be a better ending.
I guess.
Have we just told the end now?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, like I said, this doesn't give our glowing recommendation. It's a fine watch. It's just like something you watch, and I have no problem watching like mindless action movies.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt this was like a B movie with an A-list actor.
Yeah,
At the
for
helm.
sure. Definitely.
And I felt it was a mess of a movie, 2 different movie ideas crammed into one, or one movie idea that wasn't enough, so you needed to add something a little more compelling to it, like
Yeah, I agree.
The Assassins. And like I said, my biggest disappointment was I was waiting for at least, I think I would have gotten a little bit of something if there was the Tyler Perry teaser at the end. Like, at least have Tyler Perry show up. Cut to him somewhere saying, like,
Something.
let's move on to plan B.
Yeah.
Or
It was weird. It was so strange.
let's move out, time to change our base of
Yeah.
operations, or We have a new target. Like, nothing.
I was hoping for more out of this movie. When I saw so many people were like, Friday night, this movie's out. I want to see this movie. I'm kind of like, okay, this will be good. Angelina Jolie, haven't seen her in a while. I was hoping for more. I was actually slightly shocked that it was, I mean, every time something happened, I was trying not to bring my, but I was like, oh, okay, like this. Yeah, this is, like how cliche it was, I guess. There were a lot of parts that were cliche to me.
Yeah, it just felt like kind of an old 90s action flick that it looked really nice.
But I guess if you like that, that would be okay.
I think it'd be all right, but I think, like I said, I just think some of the character motivations and the whole movement of the story, it left me with more questions than anything. And like I said, when I can't even, I'm all for obscure titles. This is not an obscure title of a film.
It's a confusing title.
I was even referencing like, well, who is Those Who Wish Me Dead? Like, this is not a film about...
It's not a fit title for the movie.
These aren't people hunting Angelina Jolie, which you thought, like, oh, she's on the survival track. And again, yeah.
There's not that many hunting the boy. Like, why are they hunting the boy? Because they don't know that the dad has written down all the secrets.
Yeah, they just got to clean up their loose ends.
Why are they hunting the boy? Because the boy knows, maybe. I mean, they got in a car accident. The boy has seen the two assassins.
Yeah, so it becomes a really messy mess to tie up some loose ends. Because in reality, you have to think that's all the assassons know,
really
that they're cleaning up loose ends.
Wishing the boy dead.
No, and as they're trying, it's not those.
It's those two. Those two guys that wish me dead.
So I can safe to say we're probably not recommending this. I'm not recommending this movie to people.
I wouldn't really waste my time on it, honestly.
If it was
even
on...
like Stowaway was a good watch. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But go ahead and watch it. I'd say, like, you could probably skip this one.
Oh, Stowaway is a much better film than this.
Absolutely.
Stowaway's, like, top-notch filmmaking compared to
Anna Kendrick
Those Who Wish Me Dead.
knocks Angelina Jolie out of the park in this one, and I'm not a huge Anna Kendrick fan.
So let's wrap up on this real quick. So I think it's safe to say, save your time. Don't see Those Who Wish Me Dead unless you're a diehard Angelina Jolie fan.
Right.
Or really like movies with forest fires in them. Quick little night before podcast Easter egg. You don't even know this.
Oh, no.
So if you haven't listened to this, I'm talking to the people listening on this right now, if you've made it to the end. If you go back and listen to our episode 5 about Black Bear, we have a moment about 3/4 of the way through where we talk about two gentlemen who's sitting next to us were talking, asked us about our podcast, asked us about the movie Black Bear and Aubrey Plaza, and we kind of make some few jokes about their knowledge of Aubrey Plaza, and they were kind of fans, right? Well, if you turn up I probably wouldn't recommend this, but if you turn up the podcast really loud around the first few minutes
of the podcast
of that episode 5,
okay,
you can hear them talking in the background.
What are they talking about?
They are talking about the film Stowaway.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Said they had just watched on Netflix the night before, literally. And
wait, did I know this?
If you
just
did,
from hearing them?
If you did, you didn't say anything to me about it. But yeah, they're talking Stowaway. Okay. One's convincing the other that it's a decent space movie that they should watch.
Actually, now that you say it, I vividly remember overhearing, eavesdropping, if you will, into this conversation. But
while we were talking,
I didn't connect
you were listening to them?
To the fact that when we watched Stowaway, which was after the...
No, Stowaway came before
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was episode 4 with Stowaway. So episode 4 Stowaway, episode 5 Black Bear.
We were talking about Stowaway that night.
We might have mentioned it, yeah. But
no, we were talking about Black Bear.
We were talking about Black Bear. We might have mentioned it in our
already
pre-conversation.
Stowaway.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, I just thought it was funny. In between us speaking, you can hear them say things about Stowaway and the film.
Gotcha.
So Small World, they were having their own little night before conversation.
That's not it. You know what the conversation I remember them talking about was?
The octopus movie.
The octopus friend. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, well, I'm not going to mock. He was commenting on how he thought it would be weird that someone befriend an octopus.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like, no, it's really good. We haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on my side of the matter, we've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But I remember them going back and forth about that movie.
Yeah, one was convincing the other that he should see my Octopus Friend, the documentary.
And the other's reasons for not wanting to see it were slightly comical.
Yeah. It was just his reactions. And they've been drinking, obviously. And then they went on to, apparently, and we started recording our podcast. They went on to talking about Stowaway right after that.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
And little did we know when we struck up a conversation with them when we moved seats, they were like, what's your podcast about? We could have said Stowaway.
That's true.
And they could have been on
because
the podcast.
we didn't realize they were talking about
So anyway, it's funny, too, that we've spent 2 episodes talking about these two guys.
That's cool.
As well. But anyway, we're not sure what our next movie is. Soon I know we're gonna be doing the film The Killing of Two Lovers.
Yes.
We have a couple other films on our list, but like any sort of movie night, there is a level of spontaneity.
Yeah.
The mood.
We're thinking our next one will be Killing of Two Lovers, but
you never know.
We have a lot of movies.
However the spirit moves you. There might be a James Spader movie you really want to see.
That's a stab at me.
We'll have to talk about James Spader at another time. If you'll ever let me watch a James Spader movie with you.
I am not a James Spader fan, but
All right. Listen, we'll do our
we'll
best.
talk about reasons for that later.
We'll do our best to cheer here. We're at here at Bodega. We had some
We have
others.
plastic cups.
We have plastic cups for their
cheers
secret cocktail
is
menu,
effective.
but the mojito's gone. And what was your other one?
It's like a campanata.
Okay.
Campanata.
But they're empty. We'll do our best to cheers and then try it again. I might have picked up. Yeah, I think you have to go to the bathroom too, so we're gonna let you get out of here. They've turned the music up. They're probably like their way of
Which
like
is nice.
quit podcasting. Let's crank the tunes.
Start dancing.
Any
to
minute
some
now, the
salsa music.
salsa dancing's gonna
Any
start.
minute now,
I
they're
can
coming
sense
out. I'm ready for it.
it. Okay.
Okay. This was fun.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Okay.
Till then, all right, bye.
Bye.